and Golder. Speaking the truth make I and I man bolder. I want to go on to our next story here. And like I said, if you're not seeing the visual, you're not going to, because I don't know how to, stream all of them one time. I'm going to upload later on. I just switched over to a new story. And it's the story of Miller9. Yeah, I'm talking about Vybz Kartel, former producer Miller9. Right now, he has been found guilty of home invasion and of unaliving, meaning this murder. Yeah, you know what me I talk about, family and friend. I'm tired of these behavior modification software that want you to speak differently, and when you look, you see whole heap of unwelcoming things on the platform. So and I'm gonna try to figure out how to work this in. Now, it's in the reports in America saying that two Florida men who attempt to carry out a home invasion robbery in 2019 in an Irving residence that a group of young smug dealers used for a large-scale herb selling operation. They were convicted on Monday of this murder. Now, the Orange County Superior Court found Andre Andrews, a 40-year-old man, and Omar Miller, that's Miller9, 46, guilty of first-degree murder for unaliving of 20-year-old Raymond Alcala, who was pew, yeah, him pick up some petrol. Yeah, October 26, 2019, inside of a home on Bayleaf Lane in a gated community in Northwood Neighbors. Because the juries determined the two men carried out the unaliving during a robbery, the defendant faced up to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Boy, Miller9, better you did just stay at Jamaica pan the one where you did the pan. Imagine, you are police and you get off of a case and you go to America and commit the same kind of action. Now, like I said, families and friends, I man is that a man with a, act like me a full joy, another man's downfall. But when you're a fool, you're really fool. You arganty, when you fool, you really fool. Here is Miller9 on a dramatic video showing him and his brethren, Andrews, armed with a pew entering the house from the side door early in the morning, and then immediately attacking the man in his sleep. Imagine this. He screamed and fought back, but was subdued by both of them with duct tape. A short time the video shows men escaping and leaving him behind. He was running for help. It appears that he managed to escape. 2 gunshots rang out upstairs. At least one hit Alcala, who would pass away. And at one point, defense lawyers say Alcala was able to temporarily overpower one of his assailants before he was fatally capped. Miller and Andrews fled. DNA and neighborhood security footage of the vehicle and the suspect rented and cell phone location data ultimately tied Andrews and Miller to the scene. Based on the weapon they were seen holding and the ballistic evidence from the shooting scene, prosecutors said that Miller fired a fatal shot, but both men were charged with a color's death. A third man living at the home testified was in a Ruggs house, saying the three men met customer online and sent product through the mail. According to the testimony during the trial, there were hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash, luxury items, and herbs kept throughout the home. A fourth resident who was not involved in the Ruggs trade was sleeping behind a locked door. More products and greed is the motivation behind this. See, the Deputy District Attorney Lexi Elliott told juror during closing argument last week in Santa Ana courtroom. A third defendant, Devon Quinlan of Westminster, will be tried separately on conspiracy and assault charges. During a recent trial, the prosecutor described Quinlan as roping Andrews into the home invasion. Then Andrews bring in Miller. You hear that? So this one Devon Quinlan of Westminster, he's being tried separately. And he's being charged with conspiracy and assault. So him I go get the real time. And him set it up. He called in Andrews. And then Andrews bring in Miller9. Miller9, you shouldn't stay. You're behind the line. What I'm talking about. Because right now, Cartel ex-producer Miller9 is facing life. He's already been found guilty. Attorney for Miller9 denied the men intended to rob and unalive anyone, noting they left the product and cash behind. The defense accused investigators as failing to fully investigate who ordered the pair to go to the home, saying detective grabbed the two lowest rug and did not want to go much taller on the ladder. Mark Frederick Andrews, Anthony. Now, the attorney said that the client acted under duress after he was and his family were threatened by members of the cartel. The defense attorney showed juror message from Andrews' phone that including apparent threats such as when we find you, we show you no sympathy. These people live in different world than we do, Frederick said. This is cartel. They unalive people regularly. And they do it in scarcity. They do it in scary, violent way. Excuse me. The defense attorney noted that Andrews and Miller didn't ask then. The man they attacked and bound were located. Andrews thought when he entered the house, they were just going to scare somebody, Frederick said. We was told there was just some punk kid in there and they weren't going to fight back. According to the resident in the home, the young man who lived at the house had been targeted earlier for an attempt robbery, an incident that apparently ended with Akala and his friend rushing and tackling an armed man. So when Andrews and Miller entered the home, their attorney argued they were aware that the men living there were armed and willing to fight back. The prosecution argued that regardless of whoever else may have been involved, Andrews and Miller were responsible for the shooting. These crimes don't happen without someone willing to go inside and do it, Elliott told juror. Andrews and Miller are scheduled to return to court for sentencing December 12. Mirated before Christmas, Miller9 will know how long he will stay behind bars. Imagine, this is Vybz Kartel X Producer Miller9, and he's in the United States, California. I bars him there behind. Why? Murder, unaliving, first degree, Omar Miller, aka Miller9. He has been found guilty, first degree murder, in a Northwood, in a California, Bayleaf Lane. The boy take a little youth, a 20-year-old youth life. Raymond Akala. They said them cap him, snatch out him life. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, I do not parade on a next person's downfall, but I believe that retribution is a part of justice. Here you see Miller9 and his brethren roll in. See the weapon in him hand. It better you did stay in Jamaica and go a country like St. Elizabeth or Westmoreland. Right now, Miller9 is going to spend probably the rest of his life behind bars in a U.S. prison. Your families and friends, it's a shame to know that these young youths, have lost their way in such tragic way. It's a shame. Now, here